Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel for another makeup mystery video. This is where I sit down, I do my makeup, and I talk about something true crime related. If you like true crime and makeup, please subscribe. I try and put up videos every week. Today I'm going to be doing a bit of a spooky video. I'm going to be looking at the world's most haunted dolls. I haven't done a spooky demon ghost video yet, so I thought, you know, why not? It could be fun, it could be spooky. So yeah, and today I'm going to be talking about Annabelle and Robert. Are you ready to get scared? Before I start, I'm just going to give a little disclaimer. This video is made from a collection of sources that I have found on the internet, and they are listed in the description box below. This video is just for educational purposes, and I mean no disrespect when I'm talking about anyone in this video. Also, of course, I mean no disrespect to the dolls. So I'm gonna start off with Annabelle. So I'm a big fan of the Conjuring movies. Like, I'm a sucker for horror films full stop, but I think the Conjuring universe is just like really well done. It's really spooky. They're really good films. If you've seen the Conjuring movies, you'll know that they have the doll in it, Annabelle. They have like a whole film called Annabelle. So the Conjuring movies are actually all based on real life paranormal events. So things like the Amityville Horror and the Enfield Poltergeist. I may do a video on stuff like that in the future if that's something you guys are interested in seeing. Let me know. But today we're just gonna look at Annabelle. So in the Conjuring films, Annabelle is this creepy looking doll who is basically possessed by like this demon spirit. In the film, Annabelle is terrifying, let's be honest. But like in real life, the real Annabelle doll, she was just a Raggedy Ann doll and she had red hair. And she wasn't really like that scary. Unless you've got an irrational phobia of dolls, like you might find her scary. But personally, to me, she's not that scary looking. Conceal, don't feel, don't let them know. So before I go into the full real life Annabelle story, I'll give you a little bit of background. So I'll start off by introducing Ed and Lorraine Warren. These are people who are in the Conjuring films, but they're also real life people. Ed and Lorraine Warren were paranormal investigators, and they were also married. Lorraine was a clairvoyant and also a medium, so she could basically like contact spirits. And throughout their lifetime, they kind of looked into loads of different paranormal cases, including the Amityville Horror and stuff like that. Annabelle was one of their most famous cases. So the story of Annabelle begins in 1970. A 28-year-old nurse called Donna, she received this Raggedy Ann doll off her mum as a birthday present. And you know, she really liked the doll. I don't know if she was like into collecting dolls or stuff or like whatever, but she liked the doll enough. So Donna would leave Annabelle in her bedroom, like on her bed. When she would come back, she would notice the doll kind of like sat in different positions than what she left it in. So she used to leave the doll just like lying down on the bed, and she would come back to see Annabelle sat up on the bed with her legs crossed. Honestly, if that happened to me, I would just like throw the doll out straight away. I wouldn't have kept it longer than that. So Donna lived in an apartment with another girl, and what was kind of weird and spooky was they kept on finding like little pieces of parchment paper around the house with like red crayon on it, and the pieces of parchment would like have weird words on them like help me or help us. And the girls thought this was really weird because they didn't own any parchment paper and they didn't own any red crayons. I don't know how Annabelle was getting all this. Was she just like nipping out to the shops buying some crayons? As time went on, Annabelle kept appearing in different rooms. And apparently at one point she seemed to be leaking blood from like her hands. One day the girls had a male friend sleeping over in their apartment, and he kind of like woke up and saw Annabelle like staring at him. He said he felt like he was being strangled, and when he like properly woke up he was like covered in scratch marks. So the girls were getting like pretty freaked out at this point. Like I would have been freaked out straight away, but fair enough. So they decided to contact a medium to come and like do a seance on the doll. The medium came, they did the seance, and the doll spoke to the medium saying it was the spirit of a 7-year-old girl called Annabelle Higgins who was like living inside the doll. The spirit said, you know, she died and she just wanted to be loved and she just wanted to live with these girls. So the fools gave the spirit permission to go and live inside Annabelle. And of course things only got worse. So the kind of same things were happening. It was just kind of more frequent, like it was freaking them out quite a lot. So they decided to contact a priest. The priest then actually contacted Ed and Lorraine Warren. Ed and Lorraine Warren kind of took an interest in this case, so went over to their apartment to go and investigate. When they arrived at the apartment, they came to the immediate conclusion that the doll itself was not in fact possessed, but manipulated by an inhuman presence. They said, Annabelle isn't possessed by a spirit, she is under the control of a demon. And apparently this doll was just a few weeks away from complete infestation, where the doll would have been completely taken over and their life would become a living hell. The Warrens said that if this happened, the girls would have died. Like, that's how serious they were about this. The Warrens also said that Annabelle wasn't looking to stay in the doll, it wanted to possess a human host. The Warrens were like, cool, we'll take Annabelle with us, we'll take her off your hands. They sprinkled Annabelle with holy water and then they were gonna drive home. On the drive home, Ed was a bit worried. He was like, we're gonna be in for a pretty rough drive. And apparently on the way home, the car was indeed swerving around all over the place and the brakes even stopped working. They then got a priest to go around to the girl's apartment and perform a blessing on it. When the Warrens finally got home, they said that Annabelle kept on moving around their house and appearing in unexpected places. I'm sorry, talking and doing my eyeliner at the same time is quite hard. One day a priest came round to the Warrens' house called Father Jason, and apparently he picked Annabelle up and basically said to her, you're just a doll, you can't hurt anyone. He left, he went home, and then 3 hours later the Warrens got a call from Father Jason saying that he'd been in a really bad car crash and his car had just been completely wrecked. I mean, it could just be a coincidence, or it could be a demonic presence. The Warrens decided to keep Annabelle in a glass case from then on, just to kind of protect everyone. The glass case was shut at all times, and there was even a little plaque on it that was do not open this case. They would open their house to the public, kind of like a museum, and they had all these spooky things on display, including Annabelle. One time they had this guy in their museum and he was banging on Annabelle's case, kind of taunting her. Apparently he was scratch me, do something to me, I want to see that you're real, I don't believe that you're real. Apparently Ed asked the guy to leave because he was being a bit rude. He got on his motorbike, he lost control of his bike, he crashed into a tree and died. Apparently his girlfriend was with him on the motorbike and they were laughing about Annabelle, and that's when he lost control and crashed into a tree. To this very day, Annabelle remains in the museum inside the Warrens' home. The museum is called the Warrens Occult Museum and it's in Connecticut. And yeah, Annabelle is just chilling inside this little glass box still. Okay, so that is the story of Annabelle. Now let's talk about Robert the doll. This has gone terribly, terribly wrong. Right, I'm just doing that again because it wasn't playing ball. We're going to talk about Robert the doll. So Robert was actually the inspiration for Chucky in the film's Child's Play. Robert is a lot more creepy than Annabelle for sure. He's dressed in a little sailor's outfit and he's got all of these holes in his face that kind of just look like it's caused by decay or something, but it's really creepy. So the owner of Robert the doll was a boy called Eugene Robert Otto, and he lived in Florida with his parents. So he was actually given this handmade doll by his parents' servant. And this is actually a big doll, I should say. It's about 3 feet, which for a doll, that's pretty big. So Eugene really liked this doll. He would play with it all the time. He would call it his best friend. He named it Robert after himself. So one night when Eugene was around 10 years old, he was just sleeping in his bed and he woke up in the night to see Robert sitting on the end of his bed staring at him. Eugene was really, really freaked out by this. He started screaming so loud. His mum heard Eugene screaming, so she rushed to his bedroom to check to see if he was okay, and she got there and the door was actually locked. She said she could hear things moving around inside the bedroom, she could hear furniture toppling over and stuff. And she could just hear her son screaming, absolute sheer terror from her son. She finally managed to break into the room and she saw Eugene curled up just crying on his bed. The whole room was just a mess and Robert the doll was just sat chilling on the end of the bed. Apparently Robert's parents would sometimes see the doll's face change, would hear him giggle, would sometimes even hear him talk. Eugene would go on to keep this doll all the way through his adult life. He moved out of his parents' house and he got married and the doll was just kind of forgotten about. At some point his parents died, so Eugene decided to move back into his parents' house, and that is when he put Robert the doll in the attic. I think his wife thought it was a bit creepy, so she was like, please put the doll in the attic. Apparently, as soon as Robert was in the attic, they could hear like footsteps moving around upstairs and they could hear giggling. The children in the neighborhood would tell their parents how scared they were of the doll that would watch them in the upstairs bedroom of the house, and Robert would apparently taunt the children. The parents obviously went around and told Eugene, and he was like, Robert isn't in the upstairs bedroom, he's in the attic. Eugene went upstairs to the upstairs bedroom only to find Robert sat in a rocking chair staring out of the window. So Eugene died in 1974 and a new family moved into the house. The family had a little girl and she found Robert and she, you know, wanted to play with it because she's a kid, she liked dolls. So at first she really liked the doll, but then all of a sudden she became absolutely terrified. She said Robert would throw things at her and scare her, and she said that the doll was alive and wanted to hurt her. The family decided that they were going to get rid of this doll, and they actually sent it to Fort East Martello Museum in Florida. And ever since Robert has been there, he's been a really, really popular attraction. People have basically gone from around the world to visit Robert. They've kind of presented Robert, he's just chilling on this chair with a teddy bear and he's in like a glass container. Even though he's behind glass, people still believe that Robert is wreaking havoc. So apparently you're not supposed to take photos of Robert, and if you do, you're supposed to ask really politely. If you take a photo of him, apparently bad things happen to you, and even if you ask politely, he can still curse you. The creepiest thing I think is that people have literally left letters next to like Robert's container. All of these letters are apologies, and apparently people have been like asking for his forgiveness, and apparently like their lives have been ruined. There's some allegations that when people have gone to take photos of Robert, their camera has just like broken and stopped working, or like the picture like never came out or something. And yeah, he's still in this museum today, he's kept behind glass. They obviously take him out and clean him, and the people who even work in the museum, they say like it's really creepy and they can hear him giggle sometimes. Apparently one person said that they saw like Robert put his hands up against the glass, but I think that's not real. Anyway, that is it. That is the stories of Annabelle and Robert the doll. What do you guys think? Do you believe the dolls have something like creepy about them, or do you just think like it's all fake? I personally think it's like a little bit creepy, but you know, it could just be an overreaction, people lying to get famous and stuff. That's my issue with things when it comes to like the paranormal. I'm not really sure if it's real or it's just like a big lie. I'm kind of under the impression that people do lie about stuff like this. I would love to hear what you all think though. Anyway, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. As always, if you do have any recommendations, please just pop them down in the comments section below. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!